On today's episode, we check out some Indonesian water skiing, play soccer with some German bubble boys, get pile drive by some Bolivian housewives, and play football with hundreds of angry Englishmen. The world's most bizarre sports revealed on Games of Strange. Destination 1, Indonesia. Once a year, the bulls of West Sumatra have a chance to show off their strength and speed, just a field away from where they normally pull the plows of their owners. Once a year, farmers, traders, and townfolk come together to see which of these cows earns a better price for their power and stamina.
Ya kalau Jawi ke Manang kan cuma orang mau go kan banyak istilah orang Kamamboli kan banyak kan istilah dawaknya.
Once a year, farmers like Afrazan step up to be a local hero and celebrate a 100-year-old tradition. Once a year in the region of Tanah Datar, it is showtime for bull racing through muddy rice fields in Indonesia. Once a year, it is time for Pacu Jawi. In the Indonesian province of West Sumatra, cows are really important. Essential for the farmers' work on the paddy fields for hundreds of years, they have earned a special status in the culture of the local Minangkabau people. So special that even their traditional houses are crowned with roofs in the shape of buffalo horns. For farmer Afrazan in the village of Talang Tangga, his bulls not only assist him throughout the rice season, they are his stars in the upcoming Pacu Jawi event.
Awak jadi petani mungkin lah lebih 30 tahun lah jadi petani ya. Ya kalau biasa kalau untuk Jawi kunonya, kalau benteng awak tuh mah ke sawah kok ya kan, berarti untuk majak tuh. Nah tuh tambah lo olahraga tadi mode pacu tadi kan, nah, itu kuno Jawi awak tuh ya.
3 days before the event, Afrazan wants to complete a couple of practice runs. This practice is mostly for the bulls who get used to racing through the mud. Afrazan doesn't need any practice. He's been racing for 35 years.
Kalau tagak awak dibilah, awak pegang ikunya aja. Ya, kalau agak lambek seketik langsung digigit ikunya. Sudah digigit tuh kancang lari itu. Awak santai aja lah dari bilah tuh. Ngomanya taluk lari begitu kan. Model itu.
The better the bulls run, the higher the prices for them at the market. This is why many farmers want Afrazan to race their cows down the track at the event. At the local cow market, Afrazan has a chance to meet other farmers, to have a close look at the state of their cattle, and to learn about the current prices for livestock. A powerful run, fast and straight, is what matters to him. It's a question of pride. Strong bulls will help him to prove he is still among the best Pacu Jawi jockeys of West Sumatra.
Kalau untuk pacu bisa, untuk memajak pun bisa. Istilahnya, untuk pokoknya tiang awak mendidik lah. Istilah ajaran awak kan. Nah, kalau untuk pacu, awak bisa mencelik bodinya, kakinya. Ya, model ikonya kan. Nah, model bodi kita mantap tau. Istilah bodi, mantap lah bodinya itu ah. Kalau kaki bawah tuh ah. Kalau Jawi itu memang rancak ya kan.
A cow like that one costs around 10 million Indonesian rupiahs, which equals $830 US. After a perfect run with a jockey like Afrazan, that price may even triple. On the next morning, around 70 cows wait for their big appearance, while tourists and villagers dive into a fair of local traditions and food. Then it's showtime for Afrazan.
Sila kalau ada joki yang terbaik itu tidak mau jatuh di masuk lumpur kan. Tapi kalau masuk lumpur lah, bukan masalah orang ya. Model itu kalau pacu Jawi kau nak elok.
While Afrazan races one pair of bulls after the other down the track, some of his fellow jockeys are less fortunate. Afrazan's runs are perfect. The farmers are pleased, awarding the jockey with tips.
Kalau kini kau nak, kalau pacu kini kau ayo terus serose kan. Istilahnya hari rancak, Jawi pun rancak, orang pun rami kan. Dan awak pun bangga pula istilahnya kalau itu kabupaten itu lah. Bangga awak istilahnya rami-rami kemari gitu lah. Yo kalau di kecil awak hebat, kau tak lebih besar kan istilahnya. Kecil tadi lah, dia jadi jiwa mungkin kan.
After 2 hours, all the cows and their jockeys have had their chance to impress potential buyers. And Afrazan has once again proven that he is among the best jockeys of West Sumatra in the old tradition of Pacu Jawi. Now it's time for some serious inflation. If you're looking to turn your world on its head, you've come to the right place. Bubble football is a game of checking, flailing, crying, flying, scoring, and of course, cheering. Tobias plays for the Wildfische, translated of course to the wild fish. His team from Offenbach is Germany's vice champion, meaning they lost in last year's final. Injured, he leads practice today from the sideline. Tomorrow, 14 of Germany's top teams will compete for bubble bouncing superiority at the national championship. The goal for today's practice: be aggressive.
Wir sind jetzt nicht die Edeltechniker. Wir haben auch 2, 3 gute Sachen drauf, auch am Ball. Aber ich denke, der Hauptteil kommt bei uns über den Kampf und über die Teamarbeit.
At tomorrow's tournament, each game will last only 10 minutes. Not much time to score more goals than your spherical opponents.
Eigentlich ist man nach 2 Minuten platt. Dann ist es nur die Motivation am Gewinnen und der Spaß an der Sache, die einen da vorantreiben.
Communication is very difficult in this sport because, in case you haven't noticed, the players are wearing giant bubbles.
Wir fangen wieder erstmal so an. Ich mache hinten zu, du rechts, du links.
At the end of the session, Tobias has a special idea. He wants to practice a new trick shot to surprise their opponents. The ball is kicked into another player's opening and run into the other goal. It may seem odd that such a move is legal, but everything about bubble football is odd. After finally completing the trick, Tobias is content with the team's performance today.
1, 2, 3, Wildfisch!
200 miles north in the town of Anger lives Tobias's biggest rival, Sebastian. He is the team captain of the Thirsty Lions, Germany's reigning bubble football champions.
Wir wollen auf jeden Fall gewinnen, wir wollen den Titel verteidigen, wir sind top motiviert, wir haben stark trainiert dieses Jahr. Ja, und wir wollen das Ding morgen rocken.
Bubble football began when 2 Norwegian sport TV hosts played it as a joke. But don't tell that to these guys. In Germany, today's bubble football is serious business. The pride of Lions gathers and Sebastian briefs them before the final practice. First exercise today, the kickoff. The hard-charging start to every bubble football game.
Alles klar, gehen wir's an. Lions!
Ja, der Anstoß ist total wichtig. Man zeigt dem Gegner sofort, dass wir als erstes wach sind, dass wir den Ball direkt haben wollen.
In bubble football, hurling your opponent to his back is priority number 1. Only then should you look for the ball, because an opponent on his back is a useless defender. The final exercise on Sebastian's practice schedule today focuses on the goaltender, the tower or human ball that is essential to victory. After a 200-kilometer drive, the Wild Fish arrive at the championship venue. The organizers welcome the small but mighty community. Germany's bubble football elite are ready to get down to bouncy business.
Also es wird immer mehr. Wir haben jetzt 14 Teams hier. Ich glaube, das erste Turnier hat angefangen mit 4 oder 5 Teams, also ganz, ganz klein. Und es entwickelt sich halt jetzt in ganz Deutschland einfach immer weiter.
In the qualifying round, the teams are separated in 2 groups. Only the top 2 teams from each group will advance to the semifinals. Each team sends 4 players onto the field. The Wild Fish in the white jerseys dominate their way through the qualification round. In the semifinal, it's more of the same. The Wild Fish swim straight to the finals. The Lions show no weakness in the qualifying rounds, but the semifinals reveal chinks in their armor. Their challenges from Frankfurt are stubborn, allowing no goals in regulation from either side. It will come down to a best-of-3 shootout to determine the finalist. The dream of defending the title is over. The reigning champs are eliminated.
Der Schmerz sitzt tief. Wir sind alle ein bisschen traurig. So hatten wir uns das hier nicht vorgestellt. Schade.
No time for sympathy. The Wild Fish are focused on inflatable glory in the final. The Wild Fish in white against Frankfurt in red. 10 minutes of hard-hitting bubble football action will decide who's king. And a perfect start for the Wild Fish, 1-0 after 3 minutes, but Frankfurt nets the equalizer only seconds later. The momentum bounces back and forth. In the end, the heroic effort of the Wild Fish pays off. Mission accomplished. For Tobias and the mighty Wild Fish, a dream has come true. Unforgettable moments for a team that stands up tall just 1 year after getting knocked down.
Also es war brutal hart, die waren gute Jungs. Und es ist so geil, endlich kein Vizefisch mehr zu sein. Wir haben genug zweite Plätze gehabt. Jetzt deutscher Meister ist nur geil.
Don't be fooled by the formal attire. These ladies are rude. Acrobatic takedowns and smash-mouth fighting, all while wearing dresses. Cholita wrestling is Bolivia's most popular women's sport. For just over 15 years, spectators flock every Sunday to the local Coliseum to see the Cholitas. And no one is better than Juanita la Carinosa, aka the Loving One.
Y en mi caso yo digo, yo nací para ser luchadora y es por eso que estoy aquí.
Her most ruthless challenger is Claudine, la Maledita, the rude one.
Yo me considero la más fuerte. Yo me considero la mejor.
It's a clash of the titans to decide who will be crowned Golden Cholita, Bolivia's top female wrestler of the year. In the cold, comfortless city of La Paz, where nature and climate are unforgiving, professional wrestler Claudine lives in a 2-room flat with her 3-year-old son. She is well known for her work in the ring.
El rudo y el técnico que siempre hacían gritar a la gente. Es entonces que yo me animo y digo, ¿por qué no? ¿Por qué no?
Her father was a famous luchador before her. Claudine was destined to become a wrestler.
Me gusta pegar. Bueno, soy un poco agresiva y me gusta poder manejar a mi gusto, sentir que yo tengo el poder con la otra persona.
There are more than 250 Cholita wrestlers in Bolivia. They don't just fight for money or fame. For these women, fighting is a way of life. Like Juanita, la Carinosa, the reigning Golden Cholita, and queen of the sport.
Ha llegado a formar parte de mi vida y es muy difícil salir de esto. Ya una vez lo intenté dejarlo y dedicarme a otra vida más tranquila. pero no se ha podido. Entonces llega a formar parte de mi vida, que es muy importante.
Sunday is fight day. After more than 500 matches throughout Bolivia this year, it comes down to one to decide the best. But even a defending champ gets nervous. The loving one isn't at 100%.
Mira, no sé, creo que me dio una especie de infección en el estómago. Estoy muy débil, me siento muy débil.
Fighting while weak puts Juanita at a disadvantage, especially when La Maridita has prepared some dirty tricks.
Decirle que no sirve y que la voy a destrozar. Es lo que siempre sirve para cualquier rival, que le dices eso y esa persona psicológicamente ya está mal y ya las intimidad.
To her adoring fans, Juanita is still the loving one. With the crowd on her side, she's ready to defend her crown. But Claudine is also hungry for the title, and she shows the crowd that they've picked the wrong Cholita today.
Es casi igual, pero ellas luchan con polleras. O sea, no es mucha la diferencia. Es igual, porque también luchan con hombres. Ellas igual luchan con hombres, igual los hombres a veces les ensangrentan la cabeza, les lastiman.
The bell rings and the ladies go blow for blow. Claudine comes out fierce, dropping bone-cracking kicks and thunderous body slams. Claudine, the rude one, is driving the pain train today. Outside the ring, Claudine gets as nasty as she wants to be.
Mira, fue un golpe que pudiste ver, un golpe que me abrió la frente. Bueno, son gajes del oficio.
The hit might have looked vicious, but the blood is shockingly fake. Nevertheless, the Cholita's hatred for one another in the ring is very real. Claudine loses her footing, and Juanita seizes the opportunity and unleashes the beast. The lovely one is back on track.
A un principio dije, no, esto no, creo que no va. Pero saqué fuerzas. Creo que muy dentro de mí, dije, ya, basta.
Juanita may have the upper hand and foot, but one mistake could spell disaster. Claudine goes for a double leg drop to the face, but misses.
Que la levanté y quise sentarme encima de ella, pero se levantó. Y es cuando ella aprovechó que yo estaba cubierta de sangre y no pude hacer nada.
Claudine is down. Juanita moves in for the kill. Sometimes it's better to be quick than strong.
Uno siempre se tiene que levantar. No hay caída que no te puedas levantar, solo la muerte.
Claudine has tasted defeat, but the rude one promises to return with a vengeance.
Ella ha ganado hoy, pero no me va a volver a ganar, porque esto fue una mala racha que no volverá a pasar. Y que no por una pérdida se ha perdido la guerra, se ha perdido una batalla, no la guerra. Y bueno, pues arriba los rudos.
On to another battle with a few more participants. Every year, the English town of Ashbourne prepares for an onslaught.
It's like just a mass riot.
It feels like a 13th century battle. Residents divided by two sides of the city's river clash on Shrove Tuesday and Ash Wednesday in one of the oldest and most dangerous ball games.
The simplicity of Shrovetide football teaches humanity, manhood, and human nature.
Two teams, upwards and downwards, fight to carry a ball back to their side of town before 10 p.m. using almost any means necessary.
There's no murder allowed in the game, and that's the only rule I know.
This is Shrovetide football. John Ford is a proud Downard who's played this game since he was 13. He's a fit beast with no need for gasoline, and for Shrovetide, he'd give his life.
If it means that I'll hurt myself, I'll put my body on life for anything. I got septicemia last year in my elbow. If I'd have gone in any later, said I could have died nearly.
John Ford may be ready to die for a goal, but one Uppard above all others stands in his way. The team's captain, Robin Wright, a.k.a. Dobbin, a true legend.
This game is more than just a game. We live and breathe it 365 days a year. It forms friendships and can even split up families.
The Uppard's goal sits on the Henmore River at Sturtson Mill, about 1.5 miles away from the city centre. The same distance away in the opposite direction is Downard's goal at Clifton Mill. The Shrovetide playing field covers every square foot of Ashbourne, so the entire town prepares for war in the streets. If you want to buy insurance against damage from the game, you go to the local hardware store. Shrove Tuesday. The first morning of Shrovetide football has arrived and tensions are high. Each captain delivers pre-game speeches that would make the Braveheart William Wallace himself proud.
When we return here tonight, be proud in the knowledge that you have given all you can give. You have done all you can do. And we have achieved all we can achieve. Are you ready to see Sturtson again? Yeah!
People say you're only as good as your last game. Well, our last game, we steamrolled them all the way down to Clifton. Let's start making some of our own history. Let's be part of history. Let's be known at the time when the Downers ruled and dominated for the next 10 to 15 years.
With one lob of the ball, a civil war is reignited. Gridlock chokes the game as the ball drops into a massive crowd. Hundreds of adrenaline-charged brutes who kept their aggression bottled up for a year fight for possession, making it almost impossible to decipher player from spectator or Uppards from Downers. The ball gets locked in a narrow street with a nasty surprise ahead. The Uppards, positioned above the roof, attempt to intercept the ball from the Downard stronghold. And they succeed. A game changer for the Uppards. 6:30 p.m. Darkness descends on Ashbourne. The players can barely see, but the voices of their comrades lead the Uppards towards a score. The Uppards strike the ball 3 times against the goal and take the lead after day 1 of Shrovetide football. As half the town celebrates, John Ford and the Downards regroup.
You know, I managed to get my hands on the ball and there was just that many Uppards around. There's a few Downers there. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the ball off them.
Day 2. Time for John Ford and his troops to man up. For the first time, the Downards have the advantage, but they'll have to claw for every inch if they're going to even up this match. The game is fierce and mean. Emotions from day 1 are already boiling over. After a long, gritty fight, the ball is suddenly on the move. Unfortunately for the Downards, it's headed straight to the fish pond. The Downards are mustering ferocious defense against the Uppards, desperate to rip the ball out of the pond and send it back to the streets towards Clifton. Suddenly, out of the pack, there's a break towards Uppards territory. After 48 hours of combat, both teams are exhausted, and there's no one to run down the Uppards as they make their way towards their goal at Sturtson Mill. The Uppards stagger to victory, scoring the decisive goal, sealing their victory.
When I heard the Uppards got the ball, my heart just dropped really. I was hoping, and it's heartbreaking.
For the next 364 days, Ashbourne will return to peaceful tranquility, reunited as one city. Civil until next year's Shrove Tuesday, when a single ball pits neighbor against neighbor, Uppard against Downard, when Shrovetide football returns. From every corner of the globe, the weird, the tough, the rough. Bizarre, ancient, and mind-bending athletics, all this and more on Games of Strange.